Alright guys, here we have an exciting new prototype. This is one I've been looking forward to, and it's actually because, and my wife more than me, but when it comes to what we actually like quite a few video games, and one of those, of course, being the great Wolfenstein series. Whether it's we're going old school against Mechahitler, whether we're going new school since when did that first one come out for Machine Games? Was it 2016? Something like that. Anyway, this is from Archon. You can tell because they have the box that looks like it's a bomb, and any kind of like old. This is really loud. Old like movie where they have the little plastic garbage bag. I don't even know what this stuff is, or I don't know why it's a thing. I'm not sure what this does for anybody, but it's kind of funny every time. When I first got a package from Archon, that kind of freaked me out, actually. Now I just come to expect it. It's like their signature. Awakened Realms puts it, in this little white box full, saying what it is, and Archon puts it in a trash bag. That's probably a little unfair. Alright, so again, this is going to be a prototype, so this is not how you will receive it. This is not all the content probably that you will receive. Most likely it's just the core box, but every prototype's different. That's why I actually really love unboxings, because it's just, again, each one's so different. Oh, look at that. I get a little note. Well, that's fun. Let's see, what is this? Here's a prototype, version 1 of Wolfenstein, the board game. Alright, it says a little bit about it. We hope you have as much fun playing as we had designing it. We believe this board game pays homage to capture the spirit of the Wolfenstein computer game, as most of us in the office still remember the excitement of blowing up Nazis in Wolfenstein 3D. There we go. For us, it's something a childhood dream, as id Software games were viral in Poland in the 90s. See, that's really cool to know. So when the opportunity came up to turn our childhood into the board game, we just had to do it. What you have in your hands is very close to the final version, we hope, except for the material quality. Paper components are temporary and made in-house, and this component will be manufactured in China using top-notch quality materials in the final version. So if you recall, while Archon does some great miniatures, their cardstock and cardboard have not been the best, and they actually took that feedback and really took it home, and so they are actually now getting that from China. Now obviously this is a bad time to start doing that, and it kind of bit them in the butt a little bit for that, but in the end the version you'll get will have some really good cardstock, so that's good. We at Archon are proud that we are carving out a reputation for making excellent quality miniatures, that's for sure. We consider a number of materials for the production of our miniatures for this game, and not wanting to compromise on model quality, we have dismissed the cheap PVC process used by some board game manufacturers. Instead, we've invested in our own in-house plastic injection process based in the factory in Poland. I've gotten some of those. I have an unboxing of it. I'll link it below. They are amazing. They're really, really good. I mean, it's like the plastic is very much kind of like hips. It's good. Enclosed in this prototype is a sample sprue for Heroes of Wolfenstein for review. The miniatures are multi-part and provided a number of modeling options for players. The color for the plastic itself is still to be finalized. We've also enclosed some of our beautiful resin models prototype only, so that you can compare the quality and see why we are confident that our plastic injection is as good as our resin pieces. I'm going to go ahead and put a picture on here from their Facebook. They showed a really good picture showing the difference there. We are aware that some PVC board game makers provide single-piece models. However, we are really pleased with the multi-part models that we have provided, as they are straightforward to assemble using the guide pins and are easy to paint. The game itself is also designed in a way so that not all miniatures must be assembled to start playing. We have mission-based scenarios, and each scenario allows you to assemble a few additional miniatures before you play it. In addition, we're conscious that some board games, once played through, are easily mastered. We've tackled that by providing players with 4 levels of difficulty, challenging novices to hardened veterans alike. All of the designs are with Bethesda now and in the process of being improved. As with all prototypes, they may be some minor changes. Well, that is actually super useful just to have a, some understanding on what it is I'm looking at. Because a lot of times it's, it just kind of, who knows if I have everything or anything like that. More technical information for all printed materials will be linen finish. The box with miniatures will have a matte black finish with the UV Wolfenstein logo. It'll be a 5mm high box. The UV logo will be on the box cover. It'll have a foam tray like all Archon games, and the prototype will be changed for a plastic tray, so that'll be a first for them. Thicker tokens, approximately 2mm, and thicker cards at 350G. The bases of the models in the final version will have the number on their base below it for easy tracking of wounds, etc. Stretch goals, but that's not all. We have prepared a lot of excellent stretch goals that we plan to unlock during our Kickstarter campaign, which will add to the gaming experience, e.g. plastic injection game tokens. That'll be nice. Additionally, we have a stretch goal for a full 3D Castle Wolfenstein. That's awesome. Well, that's it for now. Please review the game, have fun, and let us know how you get on with BJ and his crew taking on the might of the Fuhrer. Take care, and we'll see you in the trenches. All right, that's cool. I appreciate the info there. It'll be good information, and for you guys too. And we have some very odd black spots on some very hard and rigid styrofoam. And there's Wolfenstein. Ooh, that is squeaky. All right. Oh, no, that one's gonna be in there. All right, here we are. Now, I will say, right off the bat, I do like the cover. So you got Anya here, and you got BJ, and just the design of it's really good. You see the Nazis and the Mechahitler and all in the back there, and otherwise it's pretty much just Wolfenstein. You get a little bit of Bethesda, a little bit of AR, but otherwise just kind of what you're looking at here. This is actually pretty finalized. Look at that. On the back, it shows the game, and you can see the 3D doors that it comes with. That's really cool. Full art. Looks like it's actually from the video game, which is also kind of neat. All right, let's get into it. So again, changes will be made as, especially with the whole IP approval and stuff like that. Every now and then they're like, oh, it needs to look exact, and it's not quite exact. And every company that does an IP game has to deal with that. Though the fact that they already have it done and in Bethesda's hands are good, because normally when it comes to approving the IP, it's not so much getting it to them, it's them having it and then looking at it. So there are some scratches on this, but again, this is not finalized. We don't have the UV here like they're going to have, and so this is just a prototype box. That being said, it's actually not that bad. The glue on here is, terrible, but I say terrible, but it's I've received games from Awakened Realms that are like this too. Maybe not this badly cut, but this kind of obviously glued and bubbly and whatever. I have just some interesting, and then every now and then you also get looks like a thumbprint maybe or so. I don't know what's going on there. Who knows? All right, so we got a box in a box. So I bet that's miniatures. We'll wait on that. Again, at the end of the video, I'll show you that all up close. And here is the rulebook. Now, I will say, right off the bat, that I love the art. I think that's really, really cool. I like that. And then on the back, copyright 2020. As always, you go to the back and you look for an index. And I did not see it. To-do list: beat some Nazis, kill Hitler, ? Profit. So they're doing the jokes from Chronicle X, which I love the dad jokes, so I'm fine with that. I think kind of the meme jokes. I don't know how dank they are, but so we got advanced rules, game difficulty. So they will need an index. I'm sure they will add one because I'll complain loud enough about it. They did really improve things from my Chronicle X review, so I was really happy to see that. This seems laid out pretty good. So I've got lots of text. They're definitely not wasting a lot of time showing, these like huge art pieces of art. You get maybe a little bit to fill it out, but otherwise that. It looks like they have some symbols like stun and special ammo and all that. It would be nice if they had a list of symbols as well, so I could just quickly reference, or even on a card or something like that, or I could just quickly see what reload armor and HP hit. Well, none of them seem very odd. Like they all seem pretty self-explanatory. That would be nice to see. So it looks like that's what I would change here. List of components. Seeing the components as an image would help a lot. An index would help a lot. And a symbol or symbology like table that shows all the symbols and kind of a brief thing of what they are would also help a lot. That being said, for a prototype, this is an impressively well laid out rulebook. In that, I've had it where it's just a PDF and I go print it out myself with like not black ink. I've had it sent to where it's missing pages. I've had all sorts of interesting rule books as prototypes, so that's not bad at all. I'm actually fine with that. Then we have a mission book. Again, same kind of art. A lot of notes. I don't know why there's so many notes necessarily. I guess it depends on the game. Looks like this comes with all 10 here, so they're definitely, kind of have everything already set out. That obviously, if they have the layouts and all that, they've been playtesting these, so that's really good to see. I remember seeing a picture they posted a long time ago, actually, about when they first announced this. They were kind of working on it. Yeah, looks good. It looks like there's definitely a lot of differences between them, like the layout wise and all that, which is kind of cool. So that'll be interesting to kind of play through. I'm glad there's all 10 there. And look at that. So here we have foam again. This will be plastic in the final one. Let's zoom in actually a little bit here, and I'll start looking at the components. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and look into here. So instantly, I'm interested in this. It looks like it's the same kind of spin clamp system as you found in Chronicle X, but unlike those skinny dials, it's actually like a little spinner thing. So let's see. It's already thicker, I can tell you that much. So it looks like you would just kind of spin it like so, up to 6. Yeah, that's fine. I'm totally okay with that. So if you didn't know, I can probably take this apart. Ooh, maybe not. All right. Anyway, these two pieces, a lot of times, and this is pre-built. I don't know if it will be on the Chronicle X. You had to put them together, but this is 2 different halves, and you stick it in there, and then it slides out. So there's a round tracker and a hazard tracker. Let me put that back in the bag. All right. And let's look at the character cards. Let's look at that. They're actually cardstock. I do like that. Just because it's like the thing that's going to be in the right in front of you this whole time, so it's kind of nice to have it there. Now, ideally, if we are putting tokens on it, maybe there's a spot for them. That'd be kind of nice. But either way, I like having these thick character cards. I do appreciate that. All right, so right on the top we got Max Haas, of course. Looks like this is probably health and defense, maybe initiative or something like that, and maybe, I don't know, accuracy, who knows. Looks like you have a helmet, armor slot, some meds, and some items. I'm assuming maybe a weapon here, some skills. He's got an ammo belt, and Max loves toys. Max Haas equals Max Hate. We got Bombate, Anya, Set, Klaus, and of course BJ himself. Let's see here. Special ammo, hatchet, and a laser craft work. Very cool. So see if he can have a gun, probably melee, gun. Looks like most are gun. He's the only one with a different symbol up here. If we go down here, it looks like they all have the same stuff there. He does not have any special stuff here, but she has light ammo, a knife, and a handgun 1960 version. None of those older ones. Heavy ammo and a Stormwager. Light ammo, handgun 1960. Light ammo, handgun 1960. So both of these have the same. Klaus has one more health and one more, looks like accuracy, whatever that is. And then it looks like all of these are completely unique, which I like. I like seeing that. I'm not seeing any repeats there. So that's cool. So it looks like as we unlock characters and do all that kind of stuff, if we do, that they're all going to be pretty unique. That's good. That's good. You know what? Put that right back. Look at that. I do love their foam trays, I must say. But I'm okay with plastic too, I guess. And really, you know, I always suspected that because they're based, you know, in Europe, that in Poland, obviously, you know, they're higher standards than, you know, something made in China, especially when it comes to pay and stuff like that. And so your component quality here is kind of based on, which actually this is already thicker than Chronicle X, by the way. I will say that. Anyway, with the foam storage tray and all that, like you get what you pay for, and unless you want some crazy expensive item, some boutique board game, you're gonna have to make sacrifices somewhere. And I'm glad that they decided, instead of keeping that the sacrifices, okay, well, that's from China, not Europe. I'm okay with that. Again, this is typical Archon stuff. It's not really representative of the final one, as they said, so I'm not going to spend too much on that. Definitely, there's some tags there. That being said, this is an improvement. This is not terrible. The ones in Chronicle X, like, I couldn't even pick up. This is actually not too bad. And it looks like you get a ton. So it looks like we got stars. We got probably objectives, I'm assuming. Got a whole bunch of those. Noise, tokens. So this is going to be the style of game where you kind of go in sneaky, and then the alarm goes off, and then you got to start shooting everything, which is exactly how I end up playing the game, because I try to be sneaky, and I generally get about anywhere from 0 to 100% of the way through being sneaky before they find me, and then I have to start shooting everybody. But that's okay. After all, it is Wolfenstein. Not quite Doom level violence, but it's not like you're a pacifist in the game or anything like that. Now, I will be interested to see how they handle stuff like commanders and that sort of thing, and seeing how that looks. So, all right, again, cardstock, super skinny here. The cards, really it matters how much you're holding them in your hand or shuffling. And then it also matters just how the size of them. So, those are upside down. The smaller the card, the skinnier it can be and be okay. It's a big card would be kind of bad at this skinniness, and this is pretty skinny. So I would like to see that thickened up. But look at that, I even have a prototype on there, which is funny. Just in case you didn't know, obviously I'm reviewing the prototype. I can't help but talk about this kind of stuff, but I didn't really look at the items, I guess. And again, as far as prototypes are concerned, this is actually quite good. Everything's really clean. Everything has art. They are doing kind of that 3D art still. You saw it in Chronicle X. I think it fits more here. This is upside. Yes, we got some random upside down ones. Just because, you know, the board game IP or the video game IP that they're using, so that makes sense. We got bookcase, safes, wooden chests, Tesla grenade. You can shock the enemies with. You can get their silencer, star card, more locker. So you just kind of find stuff there. I am kind of curious about the items, so I'm probably going to open this on camera too. Sometimes I don't look at all the cards, and I'm just kind of talking about the component quality. But I'm kind of interested in, just because it's IP based, you know, I'm just trying to see how close they got to everything. All right, so here we got some fruits, gold chalice. I don't know if you can find the gold, you know, pieces or whatever. A hatchet, a knife. I don't know if you can throw it. This here can perform a silent execution attack with 5 attack dice. Discard after use. That's kind of like throwing it then. You can get your Enigma codes. That's kind of cool. So I'm seeing a lot of, you know, they obviously know what they're doing here, which is kind of cool. I don't know if you can eat dog food. We'll have to see if you can eat dog food. Hand grenade, helmet. What was that? Depends on how many upgrades you have, I suppose. A gold sword, more meals, magazine. Yeah, this seems pretty appropriate to me. Recognizing all of this. Commander diary. Okay, so there's some commander stuff. Another commander diary. Here's the dog food. That's important to have the dog food. Okay, look at some of the tiles. It looks to me very similar to Chronicle X styled. Which, except for proportion, consistency, I was a fan of. I actually kind of like the... I'm not normally huge on the obviously digital art style, but there's this... The lighting is contrasting enough, and the colors are good enough to where I still like it. All right. So we got the grid system kind of in there faintly. These are quite thick and actually quite straight, which is kind of nice. When I flip them over, if they weren't straight, they would bow opposite each other, and you would see that kind of a curve. So all of them are double-sided by the looks of it. I'm assuming that's a box. Yeah, this is looking fine by me. Again, definitely not final quality. You can tell this is just kind of pasted on there, but yeah, I mean some of these are really crowded. Like it'd be almost be kind of weird, like having, I guess, a person on here. So I'm not sure quite how all of that works, but anyway, there's some of that. So it looks like you have room tiles and hallway tiles. So here are like the hallway tiles, and I don't know if there's different rules for them or not, or if it's just there to kind of break up the shape. I'm not sure. Go see who needs knives. Raw strength will do me good. All right. Oh, here's I wonder if you can dual wield in this game. Of course you can. I'm sure you can. Question is, will we have BJ in a wheelchair? I certainly hope so. If we have BJ in a wheelchair, I'm going to pick that pretty much all the time. So yeah, there's just different hallways here. It looks like each one is fairly unique. So again, with the digital assets, they will just copy paste, right? So this is the exact same model, same kind of block here, same floor. This one has some green tint added to the floor, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, that's just kind of what they tend to do. And you will notice you won't see any swastikas. You're going to see that symbol everywhere, and then the kind of that weird cross one. I don't know what the name of it is, but you're not going to see a swastika, which for a lot of countries makes this actually feasible, so I'm fine with that. It's like I'm like, oh my gosh, I want swastikas in my board game. Like it's fine if there's not. But they do have Hitler. So they had a great post about just how odd it was printing Hitler for a board game and like making a Hitler. Like I never really thought about that. That's just weird. It'd be weird to paint a Hitler, I imagine too. I'm not quite sure where that is. Well, here's the officer, commander. So we do have that. I'm assuming, I don't know if he can call for backup or what, but that is... They always do this where it's like, it's just random on all these different cards. I'm like, okay, well, which way is it? See, there's another one, I think, upside down here. I would like to just leaf through them real quick, but they all got to be facing the same way to do that, now don't they? All right, see? It's just everywhere. My goodness. All right, let's see. I will be curious, and I don't know how these cards work, if each, like, I'm assuming these Space Marines are the exact same card. Yes. Yeah, I don't see any difference there. So it looks like for whatever reason you might need multiple of the same card. But we can give it a quick look through and let's see what's what. All right, I think I'm pretty close to being done here. All right. This is going to be a big mix, but we have kind of a drone mech. We got the officer, already showed that. We got the Panzerhund. This is the non-Big Jaw version. General Oscar von Grimm. I'm actually going to separate him because I want to see how different somebody named as Soldat. More drones. My goodness, this is everywhere. I apologize, it's not my fault. Space Marine. Take that Games Workshop. Okay, we got the Super Soldat. Which are these, you know, since you just fully armored, I don't even know how they see in these. More mechs. So it looks like, at least in the core box, that's kind of your variation here, and then kind of one main bad guy. Looking at the difference between them, this looks like he's super buff. He's got 4 versus like a 1, though, you know, Panzerhund has a 7. So that's not really what makes him that special. I'm not going to read through all of this, but obviously he has some special abilities too. And we'll notice, see how there's like all these symbols here, and he doesn't have those. So definitely different. He is a boss. So, so it says under here, boss, mech, and then nothing. So I'm assuming different key words will be used. Look at some of the... it's a piggy. Some of the... there we go. Looks like item cards, and it looks like event cards. I didn't know there were events. Let's see what's going on here. All right. Got your machine gun. Got your SMG that you get early on. It's going to be everywhere. Shock hammer, that's fun. A laser craft work, again, also fun. Automatic shotgun, who doesn't want that? An MG60, yeah, so they got it. I mean, here's the handgun 1960. I don't know if they have the kind of old versions you see very briefly, but either way, I'm glad seeing the variety here. So it looks like there are definitely repeats as well. So it looks like that's your items. And then it looks like you get these event cards. Toys for Max. Oh, that's fun. Are these, it looks like there's a little event here, and then you get to describe what happens. Like what it is you do. That's interesting. Class for a dirty Nazi trick. Oh, here's another item. So this is a little mixed still. Tactical gamble. Steadfast engineer. An active Panzerhund. Can I pet it? You can remove the ammunition from the Panzerhund. Oh, that's fun. Or nice engines you have. So again, so kind of funny, which I think again fits this IP a little bit too. So that's good. Saved prisoner. Okay, well, I do like the events. That's cool. I like seeing that. That should add a lot of variety to it. I don't know if it's scenario-based as well, so I don't know if you have that on top of the scenarios, or if they're just kind of all mixed. All right, that's all that, which means we are ready for some miniatures. Move that out of the way. And take a look at these. Now, these, again, are not final when it comes to color or anything like that. They said they had some, looks like these guys have already been built, or they're the resin. I'll have to take a look. But I will definitely compare them. I'd like to do a 1-to-1. It looks like, I think this is BJ here, actually. I will say, and they do this with the other unboxing I saw. Here, let me get the lighter colored one so you can see a little bit better. But they put holes in here, and it looks like this is actually to guide the feet. You see the feet are actually on there. But then they'll have holes like here in the grate where you actually see through it. What's great about this grate is that, let's say you wanted this glowing like green sewer. Well, that's really easy to do because this is hollow here. So what you do is you get like a piece of cardboard or something like that and paint it that bright green and then tape it underneath. And then you get that depth where it's like in there and it's still colored and you get all that. Or if you want it black and, you know, maybe it's just really dark, you can put it in there and then you get it like underneath it. You can see it's really cool. It's a great effect. Looking at the quality here, and this is what I'm talking about, where like this is very, very well done. Here's Anya's face here. I've been really impressed with this. Like, obviously, always look at the chain, and the chain looks great. Let me zoom in a little bit more for you guys. All right, so now that we're zoomed in, I always look at chains just to see how detailed they are because they can get kind of busy. So for some molds, they can't handle it too well. And then it's these kind of very crisp lines interlocked like that. This looks great. The texture on the stonework is good. There's a huge amount of depth here. the wash is just going to pool in this like nobody's business. Like that is very deep. Which like the letters on here are fantastic. I love this is so great. I love the telephone as well. That's really good. Again, these little slashes and just little imperfections on here are a nice touch. I really like that. Again, looking at the detail on the miniatures, their faces are just fantastic. This looks really, really good. I'm trying to see. It looks like that's probably a mold line right here, kind of coming down, but it's very minimal. And this is a very hard, soft, again, very hips-like plastic. And so, even if you have Games Workshop's like scraper tool for the hard plastic, I guarantee that would work on this. So that's going to clean up very cleanly. That being said, I mean, when it comes to mold lines, they're not very major, and they're all on the side of everything instead of like right up the front or something like that, which I also really appreciate. Fingers look great on all of them. Actually, the finger out holding the trigger, that looks good. Yeah, all this is really nice. The rope here probably has the most amount of flash that I see, but it should still clean up good. I can almost scrape it off just with this. And great texture on there. Yeah, this all looks really good. Here's a little tiny gun here. So at least with this, while it'll assemble good, and I actually really enjoy assembly, I don't mind this at all. Looks like you do have posts that'll go in, and you see all the like little interlocking parts here. I'll let you guys know how these build, but I suspect while there's a lot of pieces, that'll just kind of go in very easily. So that should be good. And here's the same thing, just in a different color. So you can just kind of see the difference there. All right. I actually, before I get into that, I want to see the doors. Again, very cool that they're doing that. I don't know if they're going to do the whole, well, I guess they're doing the whole 3D castle wall thing, which is great. Their Kickstarter for, I need the inside part of the door, for Rampart, which was their like, there was like an Aztec style kind of wall and a sci-fi. It looked great. It looked really, really good. That just slides in like that. That looks nice. Look at that. That ends up really, really well. I like that. I like that a lot. Also, sounds fun too. And it just, again, the detail on the wood here, this will take a wash fantastically. These would paint up super quick. All the stonework here, you get a little bit of detail, little siren, the symbol. This is nice. I really like that. The only thing I think I would change on this is actually texturing this as well. This is obviously just kind of a slat, just kind of a base for the miniature as opposed to tied into it. If this had some kind of flooring of some kind, and I'm fine with it being smooth, but and same with on the top here. Even if it was just a little something, just because that's, you're going to be seeing it, it's going to be down like that, and it'd be nice if that just kind of felt with the theme. But this works very well, and it looks like there's still a little bit of give. So, because one thing I would be worried about is painting this and then constantly sliding it in and out, that it'd ruin the paint. But it seems that there is enough space in here to where I'm not too concerned about it really rubbing too much. That seems fine to me. All right, that's cool. That's cool. All right, let's take a look at some of the bad guys. See who you're fighting against. All right, so looking at this is their unicast. This is not the multi-part, so this is not what you'd get. This is their old unicast style. And again, the quality's always still really, really good. Like I really dig the wrinkles there. Those look good. The basing, of course, is good. The fan's good. Facial features are really nice. I like the little pinholes for the eyes. That came out really good, nice and deep there. Fingers good on the gun. Yeah, and I like the backpack too. And again, nice and textured. Not so much that you could dry brush because it's so small, but it looks like they're all in the same pose. Okay, it looks like you have some that are in just slightly different poses, which is kind of nice. So let me go in and get one of the guys here out. Let me get one of these guys out. You'll see what I'm talking about here. There we go. So, same enemy, 2 different poses. So I really appreciate that. And similar but different bases too. I do like the textured bases. Again, the little rivets like where the barrel of the gun are good. There's a little slash where the magazine or clip or whatever looks good. When they become pre-assembled like this, and this is actually one of the differences between something like this and something like this. Painting right in here, good luck. Do you know what I'm saying? Because this is already covering his chest. It's very hard to paint here. There are people that will actually prime the sprue and then paint the sprue. So you're painting the hand and you're able to paint on here, and you just put some like, a blue tack or something like that to cover up the part you're going to glue so you don't get paint on it, because you don't want to paint glue, or you don't want to glue paint, you want to glue the plastic miniature. But anyway, you can paint the toy on the inside here and do all that, even if it's going to be right in front of his chest, which is actually really nice that they allow that. Whereas here, when they come pre-assembled, you can't. So as far as like a miniature lover is concerned, as far as like painting is concerned, this is definitely ideal. They're just kind of going out of their way at this point. Now, let me try and... Oh, we got some dice here. I will definitely want to take a look at that. And is this some terrain? Oh, that's exciting. Oh man, there's some goodies in here. All right, a ton of unique characters. Here's some more bad guys. More bad guys I already looked at. Just a different pose again. And actually, this is a slightly different style. So, all right, well, let me look at the dice, and we'll keep going. Lots of stuff. Lots of fun stuff. Again, I'll put these on the turntable at the end. So this is very similar to this is not the dice you would get. This is 3D printed dice. You can even see like the seam line here. Very similar style to the Chronicle X. Very chunky. These roll good. They feel good in your hand. You hear that? Like that's fun. Let's look at some of the big doggies. Oh, that's fun. Again, great use of basing here, just with the the different steps here as he's clawing down, as baring his teeth. This is definitely the unicast. You can see some of the plastic here from the initial cast. Yeah, very cool. So this, yeah, I guess there's nothing to do here. There's a seam line going along here. Hopefully we can prevent that once it becomes multi-piece. The symbols look good. Again, more mold line here. This was the one problem with the unicast. Like, it's super detailed. It takes a lot of cleanup. So actually, if we get this nice stuff here, I'm totally okay with that. But yeah, no, they're cool. Again, I appreciate the sculpt design here. So see, this is different. This one's flat, tails out, so you get multiple sculpts for each one. Take a look at one of the mechs here. All right, so there he is. Again, I love the pose. The head looks great, and this is actually a separate piece by the looks of it. Though I don't know, maybe not. That's just impressive. Anyway, I like that he's turned like that. I appreciate him like a full, like big. Look how big of a step that is. That's a huge step. Definitely going after you. I appreciate that. I think that looks nice. Okay, I don't know where he went. So over here. Oh, these guys are a pain. Let's take a look at them. All right, hopefully this doesn't bring back any traumatic experiences from the video game. I love the kind of the ventilation kind of stuff they have going everywhere, and all the tubes and all that. Plus they have butt cheek guards. That's important. Very important, obviously. No, I wouldn't have it any other way. All the bullet casings on the floor are a nice touch. I like that too. Of course, this huge freaking Gatling gun of theirs. Very cool. I like it. see here. Okay, here are the commanders. I'm not going to take him out. Well, no, actually I will for one thing. So often you get miniatures where their hands are just cupped. Or their hands are just cupped like that. And then this guy, look at that. Finger out, making a little, almost a gun sign, which is kind of funny, pointing and shouting. Mouth open, nose, ear looks good. All of his fingers, including the outstretched one, look great. The amount of stuff on the floor is like traumatizing. There's a lot of stuff on the floor there. But yeah, no, just again, very cool. Love his coat too and his hat. I just like seeing the finger though. Oh, okay, I'm gonna save him for last. Okay. Oh, so these aren't terrain. These are the drones. They're just very thick posts on it. That's kind of interesting. Again, prototype. But this is like very, very thick. I've seen people make this be like a red searchlight. And I've seen great use of them like that. I don't know if this will be clear in the final one or how that'll look like. The drone itself, though, looks fantastic. Again, great detail all the way around. I'm not seeing anything that's too shallow, anything that I would see that I would change or thicken up. All of it seems to be very well designed. Like it's kind of a bummer. I don't have a lot to complain about, you know. Normally I'm used to that. Let's see here. I'm not going to take out every enemy. There's, they're cool backpacks and all that. All right. Already looked at these guys. Already looked at these guys. More of these guys. Lots of minis. My goodness. Looked at these guys. Looked at them. There's him. All right. Let's see here. Just some more bad guys there. All right, where's BJ? I want to see BJ. I think he's the one kicking. No, that's Klaus. Where's the? Oh, we gotta see the cat. You kidding? Look at the cat. That's fun. That's great. Again, I love that rope. Great detail. Love the tile. Look at that. That'll be fun to paint. Good chain. I guess the only thing I don't like about the chain is, first of all, like there's just random chains that are like this. I guess I do like that it's curved around his foot, but it ends like right here, and then it seems to end almost right here. It almost seems placed. I would have liked it to maybe coiled differently or something like that, where it wasn't just kind of end to end. My preference there. All right, where is BJ? Here he is. Here's BJ. Okay. Here he is with a gigantic gun and his hatchet. Stepping on a helmet. I like that. That's nice. Again, with the chain kind of just going edge to edge here. So this great notice is not all the way through. This is how it traditionally would be. You wouldn't get the hole where you could really customize what's down there. Instead, it's just kind of flat down there. It still works, but you can't paint it separate, which is kind of, it makes it easier. I'll tell you what, though, they're sculpting this a lot better when it comes to not breaking or anything like that. There's Anya, which I really like. I'm really glad to see. Oh, man, look at the dead dudes on that. Holding a heart. That's cool. Very, very thick blade here, though. Anyway, I really like how none of these are broken, right? So this is fragile resin, and yet they're all very smartly sculpted to where they're not going to break, which is nice. So here's one version of Hitler, being all Hitler-like. Obviously, he has this. But look at the crinkle on that. Oh, man, it's going to look so glorious, highlighted and washed. That is fun. Wow, and so he's got his two gun hands. I just played the demo of Final Fantasy VII, so it's kind of like the Barrett from there. So here he is. Again, I will build them and then show you the comparison between the two. But here he is built in the Unicast. there's his base and kind of how he'd look like there. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, again, I could keep showing you these characters, but I think I know, we might need a, no, you know what? I know exactly what you want to see. You want to see this one. You want to see Mechahitler. I think it's great that they included him in the base game. I don't know how many other companies would have put him as a stretch goal, or like, at 1 million, we'll add Mechahitler, or as an add-on. This is something that, if they added an option for an add-on for Mechahitler, people would take that. I guarantee they would make money on it. So for them to put it in the base game shows how much they really want that core experience to be good. My opinion, seriously, I don't think Come On or another kind of big shot board game developer would necessarily have done that. It's too tempting to, put him as a $25, $30 add-on. Not just him, you'd be like, and his cards and these special dice, and a single Kickstarter mission that includes him or some junk like that. But he's not. He's in the core game, and that's really cool. I've always thought this was like a Y. So he's again shouting in there. He's definitely piloting it. It looks cool. I really dig it. Very, very cool. Great base as always. You get some of the skulls and faces down here. It's kind of big tubing with wires coming out and these big shells. All the Gatling guns. Look how deep that goes. Do you see how deep that is? Like that is. I mean, it's a little too small even for this to get through, but my goodness, looks cool. I like it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and build some of those to compare, and I'll meet you guys at the miniature table. All right, guys, here we are. The one on the right is the one that I built, and the one on the left is their typical resin unicast. And as you can see, the detail is actually a little bit better. Now, it is multi-piece, and so you have to do a little bit of cleanup when it comes to assembly, at least for me. I'm not that good. But if you notice, like, on her leg here on the unicast, see that little bump there above her knee? You're not going to see that on the other one. See how above her right knee, there is no bump there. And that's just because of whatever technology it is they use. Now, again, there's a little bit of cleanup. But otherwise, detail-wise, this is actually fantastic. I think her hair looks a little bit more crisp. It's pretty on par. The biggest difference is going to be their bases, which I kind of showed how, the inside of one versus another. And in fact, I'll put a picture here to show you. Now, you'll notice on her boot, there is a little gap there. Again, I'm not very good at assembly, partially, and also you might just have to do some gap fill. So it does require more effort on your part, obviously. The gun lines, by the way, I think are also a lot more crisp too, especially like that ring at the end. But when it comes down to it, again, the detail wise, they're actually really, really, really good. I've been very impressed. Now, I purposely didn't do the mold lines. All I did was assemble it. So obviously this is not cleaned up, so you see that ridge like on her hair and a little bit on her boots and legs and stuff like that. But that's really it. And in fact, the hair is kind of the most drastic mold line I saw anywhere, which is kind of nice. Now, preferably, I would have liked maybe the assembly to hide some of the seam lines, but and instead they're going for ease of use, and so everything has a post that goes into a hole essentially, and you just push that into the hole and you're good to go. I mean, it's really that simple, which is kind of nice. So definitely, I think anybody could assemble it. There is no instructions, at least for what I did, and you have to do it in a certain way. So like her torso goes onto this post from her legs, and if you put the torso together first, so I started to put the head into the torso because the head needs to go in there before the torso two halves connect. But really, you need to have the head in the back of the torso, like already glued in, is what I did, and then put that torso half on the other torso half onto the legs there, the bottom part. And actually, maybe you can just shove the head in there with a post. I'm not actually sure. I did it all in one go, but again, it's because there are no instructions. But anyway, you can kind of see the detail level here. Like I said, those bases, especially on the grate, are clearly better. And so there's definitely more detail they can get from the kind of injection mold plastic here, the HIPS plastic, compared to even their resin unicast. All right, so here's a lot of the generic enemies. So as you can see, this is the resin unicast version. So it's actually not quite as good as you'll get in the final version, but it's also all pre-assembled, which helps me get a review out sooner to you guys. And again, detail-wise, just great. The fact that he can have his finger pointing out, fantastic. I like that his coat is not too thick, but thick enough to, still be pretty rigid there. All the lines are nice and crisp. I'm happy with that. Nothing seems melted or anything like that. And there's some advanced guys there, like the mechs especially, or just the ones with like heavy armor. And again, I'm just really impressed with how a lot of them are, like the running dude there is fantastic. This is not every single sculpt, by the way. So each of these have at least 2, oftentimes 3, or maybe even more sculpts for the same kind of enemy. So there's a lot of variety there, which is really nice to see. That drone post is quite thick, but again, this is the resin version. It doesn't necessarily have to be like that with the plastic version. And again, I've seen people do it like a red searchlight or something like that, which typically helps. But yeah, no, these guys are great. Again, all facial features and stuff like that. Just really, really cool dudes. And now for the named characters, obviously you got Hitler there, and you got the General there, and you got BJ and Max Haas, and with this teddy bear and robot and all that kind of fun stuff. They did a great job capturing the just the IP in the video games. I mean, these are really, really well done when it comes to just not only getting their personalities, but also just I don't know. I guess just capturing the look and feel. BJ's nice and very thick. He's a huge dude, kind of Gears of War style. I always found so very big there. But like him, I love that he's floating almost off the ground. That's really cool. General standing on top of bodies, very fitting there. I feel just well done miniatures. I feel from design wise, they're all in different poses. None of them look like they're in the same kind of modified T pose, which I really appreciate. And now for the big guys. And what can I say? They're just great. They do good big miniatures like that. I love the how the head is in there. I think that's very well done. How deep and recessed it is, and he's yelling. I love on the back of the legs of him the coils and hydraulics, stuff like that, and the space between. That kind of negative space is always really cool when you can pull it off. And of course, the big ferocious dogs, and just using the fact that they have their own basing into the sculpt design is always very nice to see. Just makes it nice. And you can kind of see on the unicast how much cleanup there is. I've always found the unicast to be very good quality, but cleanup to be heavier than most. For, whether it's on their legs or the bottom of the bullet on the bottom there, or, anything like that. Just kind of it is what it is. With the detail comes some touch up, but the mesh there in the middle is really good. And overall, I've just been really impressed with these. But it's Archon miniatures. I've always been impressed with Archon miniatures. They do miniatures fantastic. It's just a matter of seeing how the game plays, which I will do. So I'm going to go and read the rulebook, and I'm going to play it, and I'm going to play a couple missions at least, and I'll let you guys know what I think about it, and we'll lead up to the Kickstarter that way. All right, guys, so if you want to see that, of course, subscribe. If you enjoyed this in-depth unboxing of a preview product so that you can kind of see what it's like before the Kickstarter, feel free to give a big shout out to Archon for being willing to do that. I know that's always kind of scary to really put your game out there before trying to sell it, and I can understand that. You got to really have confidence about your product, I think, to do that. And also a huge shout out from me, at least, to my wonderful patrons and YouTube members who support this channel in a financial way to where I can then get these games and get the equipment and really push to get more coverage and more video at a higher quality for you guys, because I do not accept money from Archon or anybody like that. So it's just through you guys that really, really are the foundation of this channel. And I am very grateful for you to allow everybody to benefit from that. So thank you for that. Even if you can't, financially support, that's perfectly understandable. I get that. Just watching without an ad blocker, liking or commenting or sharing the video, all that helps too. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Again, check out the review that's coming up soon, and I will talk to you guys very soon.